You know when you've been swimming and your eye makeup is all over? OMG. I want to talk about this idea that we're going to get to a point of eating where it's all dandy, all rosy. We never have to think about food again. We never have to keep an eye on ourselves, and it's just a non-issue. And I don't know if you're going to want to hear this, but stay with me because I'm going to tell you both why I think that's an inaccurate and unhelpful model of change, but also why there isn't that pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, but there is something worth working towards as well. I'm Laura Lloyd. I'm an eating psychology coach, and I coach people one-to-one in weight loss, in stopping overeating, and in getting to grips with food struggles from a habit change perspective, underpinned by cognitive behavioral therapy and hypnotherapy. So I have this client. I know she won't mind me mentioning her. She's in her 60s, and we were having this discussion because she's a lifelong diabetic. She became diabetic around the age of 11. She discovered that she was diabetic, type 1 diabetic, and she has had a recurrent preoccupation with feeling like she wants things to eat, which maybe would be counter to what's healthy in terms of her diabetes. So she was asking me the other day, like, when am I gonna get beyond it? When is food not gonna be the thing? I'm so tired of it. And I was thinking about that, and I was also thinking how I am not looking back from a place where food is not a thing. I am looking back from a place where I'm no longer a binge eater. But I'm not looking back from a place where I can go unconscious and my brain can autopilot around food like a quote unquote normal person, where I can take my attention completely off food and eat perhaps as well as my husband does, seemingly effortlessly. That's not in the way that I have trained my brain to work over the years by repeatedly overeating. I don't have the strength of new habits to just autopilot me there. One day, if I work my new habits enough, perhaps I'll just automatically stay conscious. I definitely find that, my brain will get interrupted more easily these days, and I can course correct way more easily than I ever used to. I don't need to go on these big shame spirals. I don't need to feel like I'm going to have a breakdown when I gain weight. I don't need to think of overeating as being morally wrong or as myself as being worthless. So I feel like my self-worth is now really kind of perhaps much more protected from my eating behaviors, and my eating behaviors are much improved from how they used to be. However, I wonder whether this idea of change where we almost like this medical model where you have a disease and then you have a cure and afterwards you're fine, is very linear, and I don't know if that really is applicable to my relationship with food. What if it's just always with me? It's my teacher, it's my cosmic assignment, it's part of me. Just like I'm a woman and have periods. It's something that I accept. I'm always going to have them until I don't have them. I am a person who has eczema. And when you have eczema, you go to the doctor, and nobody really is interested in curing it forever. And nobody really is bothered about finding out why. It's just something you kind of live with and learn to manage. And I'm pretty cool with that. Like, I can live with my bits of eczema. I wonder if I could have a relationship with my eating where I just accept that this is part of me. Like, I have more of a thing about this. Luckily, I don't have a thing about, I don't know, online gambling or internet porn. My thing is this thing. This is my assignment. And I keep working my assignment, and I keep working it willingly, because when I'm on my eating psychology journey, it teaches me everything I need to know about life, which is basically to go running up into the wall against my willingness to love myself again and again and again, and find ways to love myself anyway. It teaches me everything I need to know. I mean, in a way, one coach said to me once, we get all the lessons we need. It was a nice thing to say. And I appreciated that phrase very, very much. So, this podcast episode that's coming up, called When Will My Eating Be Easy, is about this. It's about how to settle in for the long haul with an eating psychology journey, how to stop trying to get to the other end of the rainbow where the treasure is, but still know that there's a process that's so gorgeous along the way, and to stop needing it to be better in order for it to already be starting to get better. Sound paradoxical? Well, join me for the podcast episode. Make sure you're following Hi Food I'm Home on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify to be notified when that episode drops. And let me know in the comments whether this video resonates with you, and how do you think about your journey and your wishes for your eating to improve and your weight struggles to be over.